Between Nebraska and Colorado over water, now making its way to the Supreme Court.
First Alert 6, Andrew Pfeiffer joins us live in the newsroom with the latest. Hey, Andrew.
Brian and Jacqueline, today Governor Jim Pillen alongside Attorney General Mike Hilgers announced Nebraska is suing Colorado over a 100-year-old agreement. The South Platte River Compact was established in 1923. It outlines how much water Nebraska should get in the summer and winter. According to Attorney General Hilgers, Colorado has been taking too much water from the river during the summer. He says this means farmers are not getting the water they need. He also claims Colorado is blocking Nebraska from building the Perkins County Canal, which would help get Nebraska water as promised. Senator Pete Ricketts has been a large proponent of the canal project back to his time as governor. I spoke with him this afternoon about his thoughts on the legal dispute.
Well, it's not surprising that Colorado is going to challenge this in the courts. We're talking about the water they owe us, and frankly, they've shown no inclination that they actually want to provide the water that they owe us. So it's a process we're going to have to go through, and that's why we need to continue to push forward on the project to be able to build the canal, because that's the only way that we can actually guarantee that Colorado will be able to deliver us the water half the year. So, again, I think this was predictable, but it's part of the process. We got to go through the process, and ultimately we have to build the canal to make sure that we have the legal basis to require that Colorado deliver the water.
I also reached out to the governor of the Colorado's office today. They sent a First Alert 6 a statement. It reads in part, quote, in compliance with the South Platte Compact and other applicable agreements. We have also continued to meet in good faith with Nebraska, despite its attempts to intimidate Colorado landowners and damage our agricultural communities. We will have his full quote with this story on our website. Colorado is now requested to answer Nebraska's claims, and the U.S. Supreme Court will later decide how to proceed. Reporting live in the newsroom, Andrew Pfeiffer, First Alert 6.
All right, we're probably looking at a couple of years worth of court fights. Thanks, Andrew. Let's take a